In the heart of the whispering woods, where sunlight dappled through ancient leaves like scattered gold coins, lived a fairy named Lyra. Her wings were her greatest treasure, not just for flight, but for the magic they held. Crafted from pure moonlight and dawn's first blush, they shimmered with iridescent blues and silvers, allowing her to mend wilting flowers with a touch and weave starlight into lullabies for sleepy owls. Lyra danced on the breeze, her laughter a tinkling bell, tending to the forest's hidden glens and ensuring the fireflies' nightly lantern show began on time. Her connection to the woods pulsed through those delicate wings, a constant hum of life and belonging. Without them, she felt she would be utterly lost, adrift in a world suddenly too large and too quiet. One fateful night, a savage storm, born far beyond the mountains, tore through the whispering woods. It wasn't like the gentle rains Lyra could charm away. This was a monstrous gale, shrieking through the trees, snapping branches like twigs, and hurling leaves into a frantic, blinding whirlwind. Lyra fought bravely, trying to shield a nest of newborn sparrows tucked high in an oak, her wings beating furiously against the unnatural force. A colossal branch, ripped free by the windy Euro's fury, crashed down towards her. She twisted desperately, but not fast enough. A searing, blinding pain exploded through her back as the branch scraped and tore, ripping her beautiful wings clean away. They vanished instantly into the churning darkness, leaving only an agonizing emptiness and a terrifying silence where their magic once sang. Lyra plummeted, crashing into the sodden undergrowth. Utterly broken, days bled into weeks, a blur of gray despair for Lyra. She huddled in the hollow root of an old maple, hidden from the world. She felt she no longer belonged in the vibrant magic of the woods. Felt distant, muffled, as if she were listening underwater. She watched other fairies dart past, their wings buzzing with effortless grace, tending to blooms she could no longer revive. A deep shame settled over her. Colder than the morning dew, she felt incomplete, useless, a discarded husk. The simple joy of flight was now a cruel memory, and the forced Euro's song seemed to mock her loss. She withdrew, speaking only to the patient moss and the silent stones, her heart heavy with a grief that felt as vast as the stormy sky that had stolen her essence. One crisp autumn afternoon, while Lyra was listlessly watching amber leaves drift down, a sound pierced her solitude, not birdsong but soft, heartbroken sobs. Following the sound, she discovered a small human child, no older than 5, curled up beneath a hawthorn bush. The girl, named Clara, was lost, her dress torn by brambles, her cheeks streaked with dirt and tears. She clutched a single, crushed bluebell, her small shoulders shaking with fear. Lyra, despite her own pain, felt an unfamiliar tug deep within her fractured spirit. The child's raw vulnerability mirrored her own hidden sorrow. Hesitantly, driven by an instinct stronger than her shame, Lyra fluttered weakly from her root, using a faint, innate levitation all fairies possess, even without wings, and landed softly on a stone near Clara. Little one, Lyra whispered, her voice rusty from disuse but gentle. Why do you cry? Startled, Clara looked up, her wide, tear-filled eyes filled with wonder at the tiny, wingless creature before her. I can't find my way home, Clara hiccuped, and I hurt my knee, and my flower is broken. Lyra's own loss felt suddenly less consuming beside this immediate, innocent distress. She forgot her missing wings for a moment. A hurt knee needs tending, Lyra said softly. And a broken flower? Well, perhaps we can find it. A friend. She gathered cool, soothing moss for Clara's scrape and, with immense effort, coaxed a nearby unopened bud into blooming, a pale echo of her former magic. She told Clara stories of the woods, not about flying, but about brave beetles and wise old trees, her voice weaving a fragile comfort as twilight painted the sky in lavender and rose. Lyra knew she had to guide Clara home. The fairy paths were too treacherous without wings, so Lyra led the child along the safer, winding animal trails, pointing out landmarks. The crooked lightning-struck pine, the babbling brook shaped like a crescent moon. She used her knowledge of the forest, whispering to friendly squirrels who dropped nuts to sustain them, urging glowworms to light their path with soft green pinpricks. It was slow, Laborious work for Lyra, requiring constant focus to levitate and move without her wings, her body aching with the unfamiliar strain yet, seeing Clara's fear replaced by trust, her small hand reaching out instinctively towards the tiny fairy for reassurance, filled Lyra with a warmth she hadn't felt since the storm. Finally, they reached the edge of the woods. Clara's worried parents, holding lanterns aloft, cried out with relief and swept their daughter into a tight embrace. Clara turned, pointing back towards the shadows. The kind fairy. She helped me. She hasn't got wings, but she's magic. But Lyra, suddenly shy and overwhelmed by the human world's brightness, had already retreated into the familiar darkness of the ferns. Exhausted, she leaned against a tree trunk. The familiar pang of loss for her wings returned, sharp and cold, yet it was now mingled with something new. A quiet, profound sense of purpose. She had used her knowledge, her connection to the woods, and her compassion to truly help. She had mattered. Years flowed through the whispering woods like the gentle stream. Lyra never regained her wings, but she found a different kind of magic. She became the unseen guardian of the lost and the small. She mended spiderwebs after rain, guided baby birds who tumbled from nests using gentle breezes. She summoned and comforted frightened woodland creatures with whispered stories. One bright spring morning, a young woman walked purposefully into the woods. It was Clara. She carried a small, exquisite carving, a figure of a kind-faced fairy, wingless but radiating gentle strength. She placed it carefully at the base of the old maple root where she remembered finding comfort. Lyra, watching from a cluster of bluebells, felt a warmth bloom in her chest, brighter than any wings shimmer. She hadn't needed wings to fly into someone's heart, to leave a mark more enduring than moonlight on water. Her magic had simply changed its shape, woven not from starlight, but from empathy, courage, and the quiet, unwavering strength found deep within her own spirit. The woods whispered their approval, a lullaby just for her.